Good morning, everybody. So today the project is going to be replacing my electric fence charger. Right now what I have is the Cyclops Stallion. It's a 2.5 joule output, 3.2 joules of stored joules, and it is battery operated. So right now I actually have it turned off. So this is a deep cycle marine battery. It is 116 amp hour battery. This requires at least 100 amp hour battery. I have the battery being charged by this 30 watt solar panel, and then I have it grounded with a wire and I think it's about a 3-foot grounding rod. It's a good charger. I'm just tired of dealing with a drained battery. It says that without any input onto the battery, a fully charged battery will last 30 days with this solar charger. And that's assuming that it's on 2 acres of fence, 5 wires, and heavy vegetation. So it's not lasting me 30 days. I'm not sure what's going on. It could be that the battery is starting to deplete. It could be the charger's not working well. It could be a number of things. I'm just kind of tired of dealing with dead battery, therefore a dead fence. And as you guys know, we've had issues with our sheep and our pigs escaping the property, escaping the fencing, and I think that's part of the reason why. So let me show you what I'm going to replace this with to fix that problem. It is the Cyclops Champ. It's a 5 joule, 6.3 joule stored energy. This is an AC unit, so this will plug in to the power from the house. This is going to go down in the basement where the freezers are, because it needs to stay indoors and protected. It requires at minimum 2 grounding rods. I have 3 because the instructions say you want 1 grounding rod per 4 joules of energy. This has 5, so that gives us 2. Plus you want a grounding rod for the unit itself, so that's 3. The grounding rods need to be at least 6 feet long, if not 8, and the manual calls for a galvanized metal. So I have galvanized metal right here, and the manufacturer actually suggests using a direct burial underground cable. It's a 12.5 gauge galvanized double insulated wire. I have 330 feet of it. I actually bought this last year and never ended up using it. So this is going to be used for the ground and for the positive lead over to the fence. Some of you are going to say, no, you guys, you have to use copper for ground. The instructions don't call for any copper specifically. It says use at least 12 gauge wire. Make sure the wire is continuous from the charger to ground rod 1, 2, and 3. No breaks in the line. Does not say that I have to bury it completely. This 12 gauge underground wire galvanized line is completely fine for ground. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, one more thing. The Cyclops brand is known for its grounding factor, specifically around lightning. It actually has components inside where it can withstand a lightning strike anywhere along the fence and not destroy the charger, and it'll still be under warranty. So I need to make sure the outlet that I'm going to plug this into down in the basement is not GFCI. It can still be AFCI arc fault, but it cannot be ground fault. That is clearly something I do not do very often. My fingers, they won't open up. Ow! Okay, I'll go get that the middle one. Let's get that one done. That's got to be good enough. Oh my gosh. So this clamp goes around like that, and normally you would take the wire, open up this screw and run it through there and clamp it on, and that would then ground it to the grounding rod, but I can't do that because this shielding is too thick for this, so I can't even get it around it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just do it this way. There we go. I was just explaining to Katie how this is set up so far. So we have a cable going into the basement, connected to the ground on the fence charger. Connects to grounding rod 1, goes 10 feet, grounding rod 2, 10 feet, grounding rod 3. The second cable is coming out of the same hole. It'll attach to the positive side, and it comes over here. We can paint this green or something. And it comes to the cutoff switch right here. So this will generally be on.
Okay.
But if we need to turn off the fence for whatever reason, or kill the charge going out to the fence, but you don't want to run inside to turn off the charger, you can just do this. And
then that turns it off.
It disconnects.
So then if that's open, I can go touch the fence and won't get shocked.
Correct.
Sweet.
So far, I've been working on this since 11 this morning. It's what, 4?
About, yeah.
Yeah, so it's taken me a long time to do.
Yes, 4 o'clock.
And I'm like halfway there.
You got this. That's all right. It'll be perfect when it's done, though.
Yes, it'll be very nice.
Yes.
Hi, shenanigans. Getting those grounding rods in was the big pain.
Yeah.
It took forever to pound those things in.
Well, didn't you say they were like 8 feet?
Oh, they're 8 feet long.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and anyway, it took forever. And then just having to clear that space out of there with all of the debris, making sure there's no snakes, getting all the poison ivy out of there.
Yes, because we know you don't like poison ivy.
I do not. So this area is going to be backfilled. We're going to put dirt here to keep it sloped away from the house.
Okay.
And so all of that will be buried underground. It won't be exposed like that.
Okay. And that's okay with it?
Oh yeah, it's insulated.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just like the hot wire, it's all insulated.
So we'll probably have to build that wall up a little bit more to...
Yeah, probably.
To keep everything in.
Yep,
okay.
That's probably true, yeah. So...
Right the first time.
Yep. Well, that's where we are with it.
Nice.
Fun times.
All the fun projects that you can't see, they always take the most amount of work. It's like all this stuff under the floors and the walls, under the ground.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so...
Stop it from rolling.
All right. Okay. You can set it down for now. Can you come up here? And feed it through the gap down at the bottom there, and I'm going to go under and bring it over to where I need it.
Okay. When you say gap, you mean outside of the...
The 4x4? Between the 4x4 and the deck floor.
Got it. Do you need all of it fed through?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Okay, probably enough right there.
Okay, I've still got about 2.5, 3 feet.
Great. Ready? Go ahead and give it slack. Or not slack, but make it tight.
Pull it tight, yeah. Yep. How long has this been up there? There's already a spider that has made a web on it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I just put it up.
That's what I thought.
Alright, cool. That'll be good for that.
Yeah, it's pretty twisted. It just needs to go around. It'll work.
Yeah, so then we'll have to paint this one. So it's just...
Yeah, I think we could probably just tack it and then move it to this side.
Yeah, but still we'll want it. Yeah.
That's fine. Yep. And then it'll go up and...
This gets me the general amount that I need.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't realize how much poison ivy was in there, so I went to get my sleeves to help also with the pokies, see how well these help with all of the brambles that are in there, and then I had to get some hand sanitizer because I had poison ivy all over my face, my neck, my hands, so getting back to it.
Let me explain the next step here. So I need to get the hot wire from the house side across the yard over to where the fence starts. So I'm going to run this cable from a post on the pergola that's on the deck over to a maple tree that's close to the fence. And this is going to be held tight between the two. This will give me something that I can then hang the shielded cable that carries the positive charge of the electric fence to. I'll probably just zip tie it to this. The way that this hangs between the two is on both sides, one in a post and one in the tree, is a lag screw with an eye at the end. And then what hangs onto that is this doohickey here, and I'll explain this in a second. But that would then hang on like this. So the cable would run in here, it would loop around, and it would get crimped together so it doesn't slip using a fastener like this. Okay, so that's on both ends. Now this little device is pretty cool because what happens is when you turn it, it actually takes this and squeezes them together and shortens it to about, well, let's see if I can show you the length difference. So it shortens it about an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half. Maybe that's 2 inches, I don't know. So that pulls the cable tight. So that's what I'm doing now. This is what it looks like when the cables are crimped together, something to that effect, and then it's looped into that adjuster. So what I've ended up doing is pre-zip tying the electric wire to the cable, so that way I don't have to go back up on the ladder and zip tie these together. I learned my lesson when I was expanding my Wi-Fi outside, and I had to run the Ethernet cable from the trailer to the power pole. It was a real pain with the ladder. I'll go and clip these things off before I start hanging it. So the next step is to marking where I'm going to put that lag screw with the eye hook in it, so I can get that installed. And then the tough part is going to be getting this cable stretched and tight, and then set up like the one that's on the pergola, where it's crimped and where I can use that adjuster to tighten it up. So I learned this pretty clever trick. Take a socket and a ratchet, a socket big enough to fit over the head, and then just use that to turn it in, screw it in. I just stretch the wire with this in position, loop the wire through this eye hook, pulled as tight as I can get, and then I was able to see where. So I can now use that as a marker. I can put this all together down here, go back up there, hook it on, and then tension it up with this thing. Okay, one important piece, because this is wrapped in like a plastic, that plastic needs to be cut away from the metal wire before you crimp it down. I got it all set up and situated. All right, let's see if we can get this thing hung up there. He's got quite the collection, look at that.
He does. Did you just bring all the sticks over? Yes. You wanna go find some more? That's his favorite.
So what do you think?
I try not to.
Okay. What do you think of the wire?
Good. Nice and tight.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to pull it tight enough for those tensioners to have enough, because they only go like an inch each. I thought it was going to be hard, but it turned out to be pretty simple.
Looks great.
Yeah, thank you. I was thinking I probably should have gone a little higher in the tree, but like you can easily drive underneath this.
Oh, yeah.
And then the height from the ground up to there is about the same as the height from the ground up to there. It looks like it slopes down, but it just goes the ground slopes down. So, pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. And then
And then I'm almost done. I just have a couple more ground stakes in there and then put it up to where the post is, and then I can hook it up inside, plug it in, and give it a test.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Levi's excited.
Yes.
Very excited.
I'm sure he is.
Kinsley also is very excited. Got her back.
Be a miracle if I don't hit a root. Root. I have the AC powered electric fence charger all set up and operational. So it's set up down there in the basement, out of the weather. We have a ground line coming down into ground rod number 1, goes 10 feet to ground rod number 2, and then 10 feet to ground rod number 3. Now eventually this area is going to be backfilled with dirt, so that'll be buried. And we also have the same hole, which I do need to come in here with some expansion foam or something to cover that hole, to fill in this little hole there. But then we have the positive line coming over along here, probably paint this green at some point, to a cutoff switch. And then the cutoff switch after that goes under the deck, then it comes up the pole here, it crosses the yard, comes down the tree here, goes along the ground. I use landscape staples to keep it securely snug to the ground, comes over here, and it connects to the fence. And then from this fence we have another line that comes across and then over to this fence. So right now all of the poly line that we have throughout the property that you see here goes all the way from the entrance, the driveway, all the way back to the fence line way back there. It's all now on the AC fence charger. So let's check this thing out. Let's see how well this thing is hitting. So let's ground it. Okay, it looks like it's fluctuating anywhere between about 5 and 11. Not sure why the fluctuations, but it's still hitting hard. It'll be a nice constant source of electrified fence for all of the poly line, keeping the pigs in, keeping the dogs out from the neighbor's area, and being able to create additional paddocks in this area as we need to. So it's really exciting. I'm really happy to have this. And that means that I have some other chargers that I can use for temporary fences throughout the property. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.